Hi everyone, my name is Frst Najib and I'm from the Faculty of Resource Science and Technology. Today I'd like to share my reflection on a mental health talk that I attended today, titled Empowering Mental Health Resilience, Breaking the Silence by Puan Sabtuya binti Barahim. To start, this talk really made me pause and reflect, not just as a student, but as a person. Mental health is something we hear about often, but we don't always take the time to truly understand it or relate it to our own lives. One thing that stood out to me was the explanation of what mental illness actually is. It's not just about feeling stressed or sad once in a while. Mental illness affects how a person thinks, feels, behaves, and even how they interact with others. Hearing this made me realize that mental health struggles are real and valid, and that they should not be ignored or brushed aside. Puan Sabtuya also talked about the factors that commonly affect university students' mental health, such as academic pressure, financial stress, lack of sleep, social isolation and homesickness, and also constant comparison with others, especially through social media. I found this part very relatable because many of these pressures feel almost normal in university life. Sometimes we don't even realize how much they affect us until we start feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, emotionally drained, and burnt out. Another point was recognizing the signs of mental health issues. These signs don't always look obvious or dramatic. They can show up as difficulty concentrating, changes in mood, withdrawal from others, feeling tired all the time, or even avoiding daily tasks. This made me even more aware that mental health struggles can be quiet and invisible, and that we should be more understanding towards ourselves and even others. The talk also introduced different types of mental illnesses such as depression, anxiety disorders, bipolar disorder, and even internet addiction. Learning this helped reduce stigma and reminded me that mental health challenges can affect anyone, regardless of background or achievements. What I appreciated most was learning about coping strategies. Puan Sabtuya shared practical approaches like cognitive behavioral techniques, mindfulness and relaxation, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, and seeking social support. These strategies felt realistic and achievable, and that they reminded me that taking care of mental health doesn't require drastic changes, but rather small and consistent efforts. The explanation of stress and anxiety was also very eye-opening. Stress becomes harmful when we feel unable to cope, and anxiety can lead to avoidance and difficulty in functioning in daily life. This made me reflect on how important it is to recognize our limits and take breaks when needed. I found it really assuring to know that UNIMAS provides support through counselors, psychologists, and other student services, as well as access to community resources. This reminded me that asking for help is not a weakness, but a brave and responsible step. In conclusion, this talk taught me the importance of breaking the silence around mental health. It really encouraged me to be more aware of my own mental well-being, to practice self-care, and to support others with empathy and without judgment. Most importantly, it reminded me that we don't have to face our struggles alone. Thank you for listening.